Coming up, the device that caused considerable apprehension throughout my childhood. My phobia of water tanks, especially the sudden flushing of urinals in toilets that involved this unit called the AUTO-SYPHON. To read about my water tank phobia story, please check out the video description. Once a phobia, now a fascination. So I've decided to conduct lots of experiments, including slicing it in half and fitting a perspex viewing panel so we can see inside and how it's working. There's more to it than you think, and its design and operation is quite fascinating. Yes, even though it just flushes a toilet. But still, let's get going. I've got to show you this. This is so fascinating. You know what this is? This is the flush unit for a urinal. So this may look like a large capsule to you, but this was the cause of some of my fears at school with toilets, especially this device, because this is an AUTO-SYPHON unit. This would sit in the water tank above a urinal, and every 10-20 minutes, depending on how fast the tank was filling up, this would cause a flush. Now, I didn't actually know what was inside these tanks until I filmed one, and I found this. So what I thought I'd do is have a look at one of these and try it out and take it apart just to see how it works. Now, at the minute, I would expect that this part here would just go straight in the middle, and then there would be the top of it about here, and when the water fills up in the tank, it goes up, and when it goes past that level, then it creates an auto-siphon, or a siphon. Air pressure can't get in up here, it can only get in through the bottom, and because the water level is stopping the air from coming in, then the water just gets sucked out through the weight of the water coming down the pipe here. So the water coming down the pipe, once it gets started, will actually pull the water around the bottom until the water goes below here, and then it will stop, then all the water will drain out of here, and then it starts again. There's a lot more to it than that, so I found when I opened it up. Okay. That pipe was the pipe that I was talking about, where the water would go, obviously, around here, up past this level, and then fall into the pipe there, and then it will go down from here. But that does not connect directly with here. It seems to be like another chamber area around here. And it looks like we've got a siphon within a siphon. Yes, got it. Oh my goodness. It's a tube within a tube. Right, and what's in here? Nothing. Well, it's just like lots of airlocks. So obviously the water must go through here first, and then it goes down in here, and I think that this again is a cup within a cup. I'm actually going to rig this up and do lots of things to it, and I'm planning to sort of like near enough destroy it so we can see where the water goes. There's an option that we could possibly do, and that's change this to a plastic pipe so we can see water going back through here. I think, in summary, all this is just so when the water gets over that pipe, the siphon starts immediately. There's no sort of like trickling of water and it getting faster and faster and faster, and then the siphon will start, because in that case, what might happen is the water might trickle over here, and it won't be enough to start the siphon. So in other words, what you get is volume of water coming into the tank, then just drains into here and nothing ever happens. Oh, here we go. Uh-oh. It's getting very high. Yeah, what's going in is coming out at the moment. Let's just see what happens if I stop the flow. Does it continue? Is it actually in a siphon at the moment? But one thing it does say on the side of that AUTO-SYPHON unit is the pipe has to be, I think, half the size of the pipe coming down there. And it's starting to it's stopping now, so that siphon didn't actually get going. I'm just going to increase the water flow and see what happens. So I think it's going to go well over. There we go. That's it. So after the first cycle, it seems to have improved. It just took a lot of time to actually get it going on the first one. So I would imagine there's sort of like some water, or there's some kind of airlock inside there now, which will spontaneously activate the next activation. There we go. All over my shoes. That isn't draining all the way down. Following the instructions on here, downpipe must be smaller than the outlet. So I found this, and that's much smaller diameter, and I'm going to glue gun it on there. So maybe that's the reason why it's not emptying properly. I've cut a downpipe which nicely fits onto here. I don't think I will need to glue gun that on, so I think that is solid. Alright, so let's see what happens this time. Right, I'm not actually going to put this on to start with. I'm just going to see what happens. Probably nothing, because it will just fill up to here and then it will drain down there and then it will never empty. So let's see what happens. There we go, water's starting to trickle down. Just want to see if anything goes on in there. Making gurgling noises, but it's not going to work because the water, well, it cannot drain, because once the water goes below this pipe here, then the water stops. So that's the point of the cover. But I just wanted to see whether anything goes on in here, but lots of gurgling, but nothing else. Let's drain all this out, and then we're going to replace this. Actually no, let's put that on just to see if it performs normally with my downpipe. Oh, here we go. So you can see the water level staying where it is. Uh-oh. No, don't squirt me. Yes, it goes all the way this time. And let's keep an eye on the inside the little capsule. You see bubbling, and then it drains out. So you do need a downpipe. Fascinating. Let's turn the water off, and we're going to change this so we can see what's going on inside. Okay, so the water is now holding short. Wonder what makes it stop right there, because that's still about 4 millimeters away from the top of that little tube there. There we go, and then when it goes above the next one, there's no actual water in there. This is the thing you've got to remember. So the water spilling over into those top chambers actually keeps the siphon going, because you can see the water is well above that bottom tube there. Right, modifications complete. So I've altered the tank and I've bent these bits back so we can see exactly what's going on inside here. It was very brittle. There's a slight crack down there, but I've repaired it with the glue gun. So hopefully the water inside the tank will not come out here, but we might get an odd leak here and there. But the main thing is we can see inside. So now we can see the water in a lot more detail and exactly where it stops. And we can see where the water is in the tank compared to where it is inside that chamber. Right, so before, the water level stopped about 4 millimeters before that first pipe. And with the tank cut in half, we can see it a lot easier. So that should stop where it is at the minute. It has, so this is now working correctly. The water inside the tank is rising. Water inside this little chamber is not rising. So when the water level goes above the top compartment, suddenly bursts into life. Now it's not emptying as fast as it was before. Another thing is we haven't got downpipe on, so let's turn the water off and see if that makes a little bit of difference. Yes, it is, there we go. And the water is now bubbling over into that top chamber. That's working, so you do actually need a downpipe. There we go, let's watch it one more time. It's having trouble clearing, it's having trouble clearing. Whoop. Oops, and it's gone wrong. It's filling, but the water level inside is still above that level, look. The water's actually trickling over a little bit, but yeah, it didn't properly empty, and that's probably because I haven't got that extra pipe inside, which obviously feeds air in, which clears it all down when the water goes below that pipe there. Usually these water tanks are filling at a very slow rate, sometimes just drips coming into the tank. Imagine the AUTO-SYPHON unit with just the cover and the main downpipe, with none of the other devices within it. Creating a siphon would be impossible with only low volumes of water entering the tank. This wouldn't be enough to spill over the downpipe and fill it with water and create an airlock. Instead, what would happen is the trickle of water entering the tank would trickle into the downpipe. That's it, nothing else would happen. You may as well just send a trickle of water straight into the downpipe and do away with the tank altogether. The urinal would end up stinking, as it would never be properly flushed. To start a siphon requires the water entering the downpipe to be substantial enough so that the air in the pipe is replaced with water. The weight of the water in the downpipe then pulls down more water above it. This gives it enough force to pull water in around the outside of the AUTO-SYPHON unit and then from the tank itself. It's like a chain reaction. The only thing that will stop it is when air enters. When air gets in, the water drains out of the pipes and the siphon finishes. This, of course, is when the tank is emptied and air can enter around the bottom of the AUTO-SYPHON unit. Then the tank starts refilling and the whole process starts again. The trick with the AUTO-SYPHON unit and all those other chambers and pipes within it is to hold the water short of the downpipe until the last minute. Then something inside triggers a sudden rise of water level. Suddenly, the water is towering over the downpipe. Water rushes into the downpipe and no air can get in. As water falls down the pipe, it becomes heavy enough to keep going and continue to pull water down from above it. This means from around the AUTO-SYPHON unit and all the water left in the tank. Now, without a downpipe, there is no pull of water below the tank, and it never gets going properly. What triggers the AUTO-SYPHON unit into action is quite interesting, but I only found out exactly how it worked when I replaced a copper pipe to a transparent pipe and sliced the unit in half and fitted a perspex viewing panel. What a lot of work for a device that essentially flushes a toilet. But it was well worth it, because whoever designed this is a genius, and it's quite fascinating to see how it works. So what makes the water inside this AUTO-SYPHON unit rise so quickly, thus creating the siphon? Please come back and join me in part 2, where I will reveal exactly how it works. I take a lot of time and effort creating these videos. If you like them, please consider subscribing to the Mr. Matt and Mr. J channel. Thank you very much for watching.